Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, the server is down, you need to fix this now. When the drive for a new iPhone is too great, you get fired. Don't bother sending a tech, I'll be dead by then. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. The server is down, you need to fix this now. Here's another tale from the out of hours help desk. This gem happened a few days ago. Me, service desk. Caller, the server is down, you need to fix this now. Me, which server are you referring to? Caller, the server. Me, okay. What is it that you are trying to do? Caller, trying to access the server. Yes, she was shouting the entire time. Me, please can you stop shouting at me and tell me which server you are talking about or what it is that you are trying to do? Has many different servers for different things, I need to know exactly what isn't working? Caller, the server isn't working. The server isn't working. You are wasting my time. In the background, I've already loaded up our server monitoring tools, no alerts. Me, I've checked our monitoring, I'm not seeing any servers as being down. Which department are you calling from? Caller, irrelevant. Fix the server now. Me, can I get your staff ID please? Caller, irrelevant. Click. 10 minutes later. Me, service desk. Caller, the server is still down. What are you doing about this? Me, nothing. Caller, excuse me? Nothing? Me, you still haven't told me which server is down or what is not actually working. Caller, you people. It's obvious my phone isn't working, I can't make calls. The server has gone down, you need to call your people and fix this. Me, ma'am, I can see you are calling me from your desk phone, is that correct? Caller, yes. Me, and this is the phone you cannot make calls from, correct? Caller, yes. Me, do you see why I'm having trouble understanding the problem? Caller, the server is down, I can't call. Me, ma'am, that number is 3 digits short of a valid number. That is why the call is not connecting. Caller, listen, the server is obviously down. I'll have my people call your people about this. Click. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. When the drive for a new iPhone is too great, you get fired. I work as an executive support technician for a large company. I have a team of 8 people under me, and we support high-ranking executives and their administrative assistants. Because of the nature of our work, we have the ability to get things done that the standard help desk cannot. We can force upgrades that would otherwise be denied, get things expedited, skip the normal procedures, and talk directly with the people who fix the issues. While we are executive support, there are still levels. When the CEO is in town, one of us is camped outside of wherever he might be in case there is any sort of issue. For lower people, we make sure things get done as quick as possible, but it's not a drop everything situation. As we prepped for the releases of the new iPhones, we braced for the flood of I need this that inevitably happens. We slot in orders immediately for the top of the pyramid guys, and then work our way down, replacing, or sometimes having to tell them that they have to wait because the device they have is too new to warrant replacing. So on Monday, the EA of a lower-end exec put in a request to get both herself and the exec new 256 gig iPhone X's. The exec was put on the approval list, with a wait, but the EA was denied. She had just been issued an iPhone 7 a few months ago, and she began to raise hell about I have to support him, so I need to have the exact same phone, etc., etc. Still denied. On Tuesday, I get a ticket from the EA iPhone will not turn on, require replacement with attached ticket for iPhone X request. I send one of my drones out to investigate, and I immediately get a text saying I have to get out there. I get out there, and the iPhone is wet, not just wet, but dripping wet, like just pulled out of a glass of water, wet with a screen that could only be called heavily cracked. The EA states I was using it, and it fell into my water bottle. So we take the phone back to our area, and I've called my manager over, and we explain it. It's obvious what has happened. We've toweled it off, and when we turn it over, water drizzles out of the cracked screen. Well, as luck would have it, we have spares, so I pluck a nice 64GB rose gold iPhone 6s that was returned when the previous owner departed the company. I call and have the SIM reprovisioned. I reassign the phone in AirWatch and I have the phone returned to the EA. 10 minutes later, said EA is at our door, ranting, screaming, saying that she can't work like this. She needs a new phone, and if we don't give her one, executive will make us give her one. I step in and tell her a permanent replacement is just beginning the process. We have had to issue you this phone as a loaner so you can continue working until a permanent replacement is sourced. Q Wednesday, the approval process has come back denied for her replacement. The loaner phone is now her permanent phone. This info is relayed to the EA, who is fuming. Lots of executive will hear about this in statements of I can't believe this is happening to me. How will I work? Wednesday afternoon, same EA, new ticket, iPhone broken, need replacement. I head out myself to see the issue and the phone looks like it was dragged behind a semi-truck for 100 miles, the screen is shattered, a big chunk missing out the top near the camera, big dents in the back. I calmly ask what happened. This phone was perfect this morning? The reply, well, since you gave me an old phone, my case didn't fit, and it slipped out of my hands and fell down the stairs. Well, okay, could you tell me when and what stairwell this happened? She does, and I take the mangled phone, I grab my manager, and we head off to the security office, and we pull the tapes. On the video we see the EA walking up the stairwell, concrete stairs, metal handrail, your typical big building non-public stairwell. She reaches the top and proceeds to fling the phone, like one would skip a stone, down from the 6th floor to the mid-floor landing, where it lands. She steps on it, and then kicks it down to the 5th floor, it bangs off the metal fire door and she picks it up, examines it and then tosses it down the stairs towards the 4th floor, bouncing off a few steps before landing on the mid-landing between 5 and 4. She picks the device up and pries a large section of something off the phone. We suspect this was the chunk missing by the camera, and then heads back up the stairs, running the phone against the cinder block wall as she climbs. So we grab a copy of the video, we head straight to HR, we sit with the personnel director, we show her the video, we show her the 2 damaged iPhones, we show her the tickets. I relay the abuse thrown to myself and my techs about how she demands an iPhone X and has taken to destroying company property to get it. Termination follows, however the user has gone home for the day, her accounts are disabled, her security badge flagged. 7:30 a.m. today, the EA attempts to get into the building and her badge does not work, so she has to walk to the security office. The security officer takes the badge and walks her to HR. 8 a.m., the security officer and 2 members of HR are escorting the EA out of the building. She's alternating between yelling and crying, demanding that executive be called, and that she's being framed. As she's brought through the main foyer, I'm on the 2nd floor balcony that overlooks the entrance. She looks up at me, curses me and is gone. Both phones, her laptop and other equipment have been placed with the legal team as a precaution. Company policy when there is a messy separation. Maybe I'll buy my team pizza for lunch today. Seems like the right thing to do. Don't bother sending a tech, I'll be dead by then. So my story starts on what was a normal day taking calls on the front line for a large cable company. The job pays well and for the most part the people I deal with are fairly nice to talk to. Quite often we'll get calls from seniors, especially in the morning, who have premise equipment issues such as snow on screen or no signal on their TV sets connected to our digital equipment. Now my heart does go out to some of these folk, because up until recently, past few years, we would supply straight analog cable to many homes, coax direct from wall to TV with scrolling guide. However, most cities we service nowadays require our digital equipment to receive channels, and this has caused a lot of frustration with older people who don't know how to operate said equipment, i.e. always having your TV set on video or HDMI to get picture. So oftentimes we get customers who are repeat offenders with long ticket histories of these types of issues. So anyway, I get a call from an older gentleman who's quite bitter and mean right off the bat, doesn't like that I asked for his address/telephone number to verify the account, hates that he has to speak with a machine before reaching an agent, etc. I have some experience handling these types of customers, however this call was going to be a little different. I spent over 45 minutes with this guy, we'll call him Mr. Smith, trying to get his TV set connected to the digital box properly so he could receive a picture. No luck. He was getting clearly frustrated by the whole ordeal and started blaming me for not being able to do my job properly, how I was useless, etc. Whatever. Like I said, I've dealt with this before, so I tried my best not to take it personally, but eventually I had to ask him if we could book a service tech to the home, a courtesy call, to get his TV working correctly. Unfortunately, our booking calendar was showing an appointment 3 days out. That's when he dropped this on me. Don't bother sending a technician because I'll be dead by then. I'm 94 and TV is the only thing I have left. Are you really going to make me wait for a tech? I instantly felt bad. I mean, I've heard every complaint in the book as to why people don't want to wait for a tech, but this one kind of got to me. I'm in my mid-20s, so honestly, I can't even imagine how it must feel to utter those words. So I spoke with my supervisor, who said they'd see if we could get someone out earlier, but we couldn't promise anything. So I let Mr. Smith know, and he was predictably not very happy with my answer. At that point it almost sounded like he started to cry and went into how he has no family left, and no friends that come visit. This was after I asked if there was anyone in his building that might be able to help. Man. I felt terrible, so I took it upon myself to ask Mr. Smith if I could pay a visit. He lived in a small city over from where I was, not very far to drive. He was a little shocked I was willing to do this, but sounded thankful I was willing to come out and help him personally. So I head over, get to the residence and meet him. Within 30 seconds I had the cable running again, simple input change, and even brought him a simplified remote for his set-top box to avoid this problem in the future. That's when he started crying. He goes into how he hasn't actually spoken or really interacted with anyone for years. He gave me a hug and told me how thankful he was that I came out and helped him, and told me how sorry he was for being so mean earlier on. I said it was no problem and I was happy to help, and that was it. I left. 3 weeks later, my supervisor comes to my desk and asks me if I could come speak with her for a bit about an account for Mr. Smith. Turns out, he sent the cable company a letter outlining how thankful he was for helping him with his issue, and how it really made an old man happy again for once in a very long time. The letter was framed and put on our front entrance to retail. I guess the moral of this story is no matter how nasty someone is to you over the phone, sometimes they're not always a terrible person and just going through a lot. I still think about Mr. Smith occasionally when I get those nasty customers, and it makes me feel a little better. Anyway, thanks for reading. Just thought I'd share how this one call changed my outlook on life. Smiley face.